Hello everyone, this is Dev of War, playing Sprocket again. Yesterday I noticed that the video was a little bit long, so I decided to go ahead and make my next creation. The KV-2, another iconic tier 6 World of Tanks tank. It's a heavy Russian tank, that there's like 3 or 4 different versions of it actually. But the most iconic one is the 152mm howitzer dirt cannon. Yeah, so I made some of the specs off of World of Tanks and some of the specs off of research, which came from more than just Wikipedia this time. But it doesn't feel exactly like it does in World of Tanks, which isn't surprising. World of Tanks says this has supposed to have a 500 horsepower engine. Any other resources says it's wrong, but I still went with the resource that says 550 horsepower because it gives it a little bit more oomph. And even with a little bit more oomph, it can't reach the 34-35 kilometers that World of Tanks says it can go up to. Fun fact, this tank was back then considered very well armored and could hold up against the light panzer divisions of the Germans back then, could take on a whole division by itself. Problem is, once it fired, there was a good possibility its turret ring would jam. So it wasn't that reliable. The KV-2's hull was based off the KV-1, and according to a different website, the KV-1 had a frontal armor of like 90, and the turret had 110, while World of Tanks says it has the armor value of, I think, like 75 all down, from the turret down to the hull. So I went with the better armor values, especially since this game typically its penetration values does make a big difference. And I'm not exactly sure, but the HE is different in this game from World of Tanks 2, so it doesn't act the same way, at least from what I've seen. Just for proof, 152mm cannon. This is the best penetration I could give it, 123 without making the barrel, long. The howitzer was known for its short stubbiness, so that's what I did. But besides that, I guess I will pull up the KV-2 that I created yesterday and fight against it just for fun. I mean, why not? No, wait, wrong button. KV-2. Okay, good. Typically when I fight it. Yes! I found out from playing this earlier, the KV-2 cannot penetrate the whole of the KV-2. Funny enough. Here, I'll drive over there just so I can try to hit the bottom. Okay, this should be close enough. And yeah, see that? That's a 152mm shell not penetrating the front. You can tell the difference, by the way, when it's penetrated, because it's a white, like, depression mark compared to a black depression mark. Okay, maybe I just was playing this lousily. Let me try an HE shell. Yeah, I'm not sure how the APHE shells work in this game, but I know AP, so that's what I use. Oh, that was a straight ricochet. Right over there. At least the length is accurate. But the height was a little bit hard to fool around with because, like any other tank, it's hard to just make it exactly. Like, I think one site said that the KV-2 is like 16 feet tall, but then another website said it was like only about 10.5 feet tall. So I'm not exactly sure, and it's not like I can go to a museum and find out. So I just built a KV-2 off of the definite length, and then from pictures that made the height look good. When I was driving this, it can go over the small bumps and the medium bumps, but the big bumps, no, it can't. It gets stuck. Unlike the Talk 2, but pretty sure the Talk 2 is meant for trenches and stuff, so yeah. Since the turret was so heavy and everything, the KV-2 was instantaneously slower, and since it had a worse generation engine in it, it broke down as well, so it wasn't reliable. Besides the fact that its gun was pretty reliable, but for the most part, the KV-2 was dual purpose. It could be used as a artillery or heavy tank. Just like in World of Tanks, they have the KV-2 actually going to an artillery branch, and that's because the artillery branch uses, I think, the 152, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to play the Talk 2, and I'm going to pit myself against the KV-2. Obviously, since I know where it can hit me, I don't really want to get hit in the turn. No, he didn't. Yep, and just like in World of Tanks. Whoa, what was that? Was that a previous shell coming down? That was funny. So, one thing I did notice is, as you can see, even since the tank's so heavy, or maybe that's just a glitch, it's dead. Anyway, just like in World of Tanks, that lower turret is notorious. I mean, the mantlet of the KV-2's gun is good. Not mantlet, the actual gun mantle. No, maybe it is. But, yeah. Pretty sure this is not supposed to be moving. Maybe if I... Basically, in this game, even with the armor values and stuff, KV-2's squishy. Now, don't get it wrong. According to different sites, the KV-2 was very heavily armored compared to back in the day. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this tank. Anyway, that's it. There's the KV-2. And here's the talk. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I try to add all the little details. Apparently, he had 2 machine guns, one on the front of the tank and then one on the back of the turret. Yeah, right there. So I put those on. I think they were like 72 millimeter machine guns, actually. Kind of weird. So, with that being said, that's it. That's the KV-2 and Sprocket. Thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe if you do. If you don't, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm totally brand new to this. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.